Hi friends, happy Monday and welcome to another vlog. I apologize for missing my upload last week. As I sort of alluded to in my last vlog, I've had quite a bit going on in my house, and we still have quite a bit going on. Things are still up in the air. We added a new family member to the household. His name is Oswald. He is 6 weeks, very young, very small, and it'll be an adjustment getting him, acquainted to the house and to the new cats and all that. And then just on top of all of the other things we had going on last week. So it was quite a week, but we're through it, and that's all I have to say on that. But because I was going through it, I did end up finishing my reread of Crescent City. House of Earth and Blood, my bad, the first book in the Crescent City series. And I gave this 3 stars like I did every time that I have read it. I did finish my annotations that I didn't complete last time that I reread the book. It is good. I definitely think I don't think it's her strongest series. Like, I would definitely say A Court of Thorns and Roses, then Crescent City, and then Throne of Glass would be my order. But I don't think that this is bad. There are flaws with it. I don't love Bryce. I do think Bryce and Hunt are quite boring. But yeah, I enjoy the series, and as I've said many times, am looking for some comfort, I will read a Sarah J. Maas book. One of her various books, because her writing is very accessible and her worlds are easy to fall into. So yeah, I probably will continue the second one at some point, but I have some other things that I am prioritizing right now. I am 131 pages into Dragon Keeper, which is volume 1 of the Rain Wild Chronicles. And this is one of the last books in Robin Hobb's universe, and I had planned to read her entire Cosmere backlist, all of the worlds together. before I got to this series, but I own this, and I did make sure that you didn't have to read her other books, and you don't like there's some characters that you see in this series from other series and some context that you get in other books, but I should be fine to read this. I was reading some Goodreads reviews that said this is not the strongest start to one of her series, but I'm thoroughly enjoying it. We are following multiple points of view, but we are set in this place called the Rain Wilds, and I don't know too terribly much, but it seems to be a group of trader cities, and there is a um coven or group of dragons that have recently hatched there. We are following the point of view of a woman who was recently married to a wealthy guy who they sort of had an arranged marriage so that she could become a a scholar of the dragons. We're following a guy who works on a trading ship who has discovered a like dragon cocoon. They're very expensive on the black market, and so we're following his expeditions, and then we're also following some other points of view. And I'm enjoying it. I'm interested to see, how the story progresses and where all of the characters come together if they do. But I'm really enjoying it. It's been a long time since I've read and enjoyed a fantasy with dragons. I read Prior of the Orange Tree, and it wasn't my favorite. So I'm definitely happy that I am enjoying this one. And then lastly, I also got 6% of the way through Children of the Fallen Gods. This is the second book in the War of Lost Hearts series. This is a fantasy romance series following Tisana and her love interest Max. They are in a world that has magical people, and it's split into two different factions, and Tisana has sort of become indebted to this group of factions. They're called the Order, to gain freedom for herself and some people that she was raised with. And so that is what happens in the first one. And then in the second one, we are now at a full out war. And this series definitely goes in a pretty interesting way. I liked the first one a whole lot. I think the plot devices that are used at the end of the first one with Tisana, very interesting. And I'm enjoying the second one so far. Like I said, I'm only 6% of the way in, and the book is 630 pages. So I have quite a bit of story left to go, but I have heard that this is just, the series just gets better and better. So those are the two things that I'm currently reading. I don't think I have an audiobook planned right now. I was sort of comfort reading Twilight, but I might pick something else up. I haven't decided. I do have the second book in the Crescent City series, and I also have a new horror. Oh, that reminds me. I did read a horror novella while I wasn't filming, so it is called With Child. I read another short horror novella by this author called Home Invasion. That one was equally as wild and disturbing and disgusting. This is essentially told in two points of view. We have a woman who is pregnant and is being held hostage, tied down to this guy's table in his basement, and she is being experimented on and various other things. And then you're also following a OBGYN who has some things going on at his office. And it's kind of unclear who the person doing the kidnapping is, and it's very, very gruesome. It's pretty short. I think it's like 100 pages. I did end up giving it 5 stars. I think this author is very, very good at writing horror. I'm definitely interested in picking up more from this author. And yeah, they're just quick, fun reads if you like extreme horror. So I would say the twist isn't completely out of left field, but it could be like multiple people, and it's kind of fun and interesting to figure out who it is. But yeah, I definitely enjoyed that one, and I'm excited to pick up more from the author when I get Kindle Unlimited again. So that is the deal. Those are the things that I am reading. I don't have too terribly much going on this week, just sort of integrating the new cat into our household. But other than that, like, fingers crossed this week is way better than last week was. Because I can't, yeah. So I'm just gonna be hanging out this week. I was off today, so I have worked the rest of the week, and yeah, it was a nice little weekend. Got to hang out and relax. So that is that. We'll talk tomorrow. Good morning, friends. I hope the quality isn't too bad. I'm doing this on my phone, and I didn't bring my tripod for my phone. So it is Friday. I am alone in the office today. My boss and I, alternate Fridays off. So this Friday she's off, and I'm working. It's not going to be a too terribly late day. I'll probably leave about like 1:30-ish. So yeah, not anything super interesting is going on. The past couple of days have just been a lot. Dividing my time between Oswald and Bane has been something else. Bane is still very much like unsettled from his time being hospitalized, so I have been trying to, help him relax and all that. He's finally started to like get back to himself. But it's just been a lot, moving back and forth between the two. Hopefully we can get Oswald at least out when we're home within the next couple of days, maybe like later next week. Like I said, he's still small, so we'll see. But I haven't really done much reading. I did decide to get Scribd again, which is an audiobook service. And I decided to listen to the audiobooks of the Robin Hobb world. I kind of mentioned at the beginning of the video that I wanted to read her like universe, but I had decided to just read the Rain Wilds Chronicles because that's the one that I had. And then I was like, you know what, let me look on Scribd because my library doesn't have any of her books. So I was like, let me look on Scribd. They had them, so I got a Scribd thing, and I'm just gonna listen to her entire universe on audio. So I'm going to come back to the Rain Wilds Chronicles eventually. And then I also got the audiobook for the Children of Lost Hearts, or whatever, the second book that I was talking to you earlier about. I got the audiobook for that as well, so I'm listening to that. I have just been struggling to read physically for various reasons, just stress and all that kind of stuff, and I've been very overstimulated recently. So I'll pick up a book and then set it down, pick it up another book and then set it down. And I've just been alternating between books. And I can't like sit down and watch anything. I can't sit down and play anything. So I've just sort of been bouncing back and forth. And hopefully now that everything is sort of settled back down, I can get over that. So yeah, I don't really have that many updates for you. I probably will end this vlog tonight, just because Friday is our fundraiser. That was canceled a couple weeks ago. We rescheduled it for Friday, or Sunday rather. And yeah, so I need to do all of my house stuff tomorrow instead of Sunday, that I would usually do Sunday, like prep lunches, clean, stuff like that. I need to do it tomorrow. So that is that. I'm gonna go into work. I'm probably gonna listen to a little bit more of my audiobook, and then go home and chill. So we will talk later. Okay, let's talk about the things that I am currently reading. I think like maybe 30 to 40% of the way through that Child of Lost Hearts War, whatever. And I'm really enjoying it. The world has expanded exponentially since the first one. We now have like fae kingdoms and like an extra point of view, and there's like a full-on war going on, and it's very interesting. I really like this author's writing style. She does very well with character growth while also making her plots pretty fast-paced and her world's pretty accessible. So she just like does it all, and I'm really enjoying it. And then I got maybe 60 to 70% of the way through Heart, Haunt, and Havoc. This is a paranormal romance. It's pretty short. It's only like 150 pages, and it's about a character who is like a priest or like a cleanser. So someone who goes in and does exorcisms, but like not approved by the Vatican, and he goes into someone's haunted house, and their house is haunted by their ex-husband, and they have like sort of the person getting their house cleansed and the main character have a romance, and it's really short. It's really cute. The writing is very different than what I was expecting, very like flowery, and sort of nice, and just good. I'm really enjoying it. Like I said, I'm like 70% of the way through, and it's like a good fun time. I'm probably gonna give it like a 4-star. So I definitely enjoyed it. I got it on Kindle Unlimited, and I would recommend it if you're looking for like a quick, fun little paranormal romance, because there's like ghosts and demons and all that fun stuff, and there is grief is touched on, harder hitting topics relating to gender identity, but it's very light. Both the characters are trans, and they talk about it very briefly, but there's not like outright, like this is not a story about struggling. They're just like trans characters in love situation. So definitely recommend it if you're looking for like a short little well-written paranormal romance. So those are the things that I'm currently reading. Don't know what else I'm going to pick up today. I have been listening to the audiobook of Children of the Fallen Gods, and sort of that's like my reading capacity for the week, because I started the second book in the Throne of Glass series, couldn't get into it, so I think I'm gonna stick with these two, and then we'll look at what I'm gonna read next week. So we'll talk.